Hello. Thank you. I'm doing good. Hope you guys are doing good too. Thank you, Megan. Thank you so much. Mm, I'm trying to find something new to play, and I found something for this. Oh, let's try this one. Let me turn this down so it doesn't play the ad. I think I'll keep it on this one. We will see. I think I'm gonna keep it on that one. Y'all, if you book a session with me, just like some rules, okay? Because I keep stopping and like starting back doing sessions because people have been just kind of abusing it a little bit. If you book a session with me, one, all sessions are done through Zoom, so you have to have access to Zoom. And there's like no exceptions to that. I'm not gonna call anybody on the phone because obviously that means I would have to give you a number, and I'm not gonna do that. So Zoom is for protection and privacy, for one. And for two, if you book a session with me, and this has happened to me a lot, and I'm only gonna wait 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, if you don't show up, you'll have to reschedule. But I don't refund sessions. You'll just have to reschedule for a later time. But only gonna wait 15 minutes. I always send an email prior to our session, and I always send an email if you're the day of and if you're late. And if you don't respond or if you put in the wrong email, there's not anything I can really do about that. And don't book a session because you want to pour your heart out to me and express your feelings, because people have done that, pretended like they needed help with something, and by the end of the session they just wanted to express their feelings for me and try to like ask me on a date or something, which is really inappropriate. And normally after my sessions, I always send people follow-up emails with resources that will help you depending on what we talked about during our session. If you do that to me during the session, you hit on me and you're inappropriate, I'm not sending you that email. So there's people who've been emailing me wondering why I have not responded to them. That's why. Because you were unprofessional and inappropriate, and I don't owe you a response at that point. So, yeah, just FYI on that for people who have booked sessions, because it makes me not want to do it anymore. It kind of ruins it for people who actually need the help. Yeah, I like this one. This meditation is lovely. I'm on a little later because I was in mommy mode. Be careful with what? What do I need to be careful with? Let me know. What is the process to have a session with you? I mean, I just explained that, but if you want to book me, you have to click the link and book. Everything is in my, anything you need to know is in my description box or in my about section. But I was just explaining like the rules. That's how the process goes. So if you want to, it just, everybody needs different things. Some people do it for intuitive reasons, like intuitive guidance. So they want answers to things that they wouldn't normally have the answer to, which means regardless, you're giving me permission to tap into your energy. So we're having some type of energy exchange. So you can ask me yes or no questions. You can ask me questions about your future, whatever, and we'll do that. Or sometimes people just need somebody to talk to and just need some type of spiritual advice. So it just depends on what you need. But if you book me, it's in the description. But those are just my rules because a lot of people have been abusing it, which is why the price keeps going up, because I'm not going to have just anybody having access to that just to abuse it. That's crazy. That's insane. I can imagine like spending money just to like tell somebody how I feel and like come up with a problem, because I'm going to know if you're making something up. I'm going to know. So just try not to do that. It's not worth it at all. It's just not. Like, try to be more appropriate. What does the title of the video mean? I feel like you can interpret it however you want to, but just about like, if you know what the main character means. Do you understand what the main character means, like in a show or a movie? What does that mean to be the main character in a show or a movie? I don't know why y'all be calling me Aaliyah, but that is not my name, honey. Star, main focus. Exactly. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Main character. So it just means every single person is the main character of their life, and you get to decide what comes next. Everyone else in your life is an extra. You're the main character, so you decide what happens next. You're responsible for what happens next. What are you going to do with that? Knowing that you have that type of power, what are you going to do next? What life do you want? My favorite character is Wolverine because he's mean. He marched to his own anything for himself. I love the Wolverine. The Wolverine is great. It's kind of a sad story too. Hello. This live could turn into a message, but it's also more so like me checking in and giving you guys a reminder, because it's less than 3 months left. What are you gonna do? And there's no right answer either. It's all about what you decide, because you're the main character. So you decide what you want to do. What can you dream up right now for your life? And understand that it's not about just dreaming of this dream life. It's about becoming the person that can have this life, right? So that means you're probably going to have to make some changes. Or if you already made those changes, you're going to have to remain consistent, right? Because we can say all day we want to be something, but are we going to become that before it manifests? Are we going to move like that before it manifests? You got to move like that. And usually the people who have the most success are the ones who make the biggest risk. Like the risk takers, they're the ones who usually have the most success. The ones who just like, they don't wait to be told what to do. They don't wait for them to have everything together. They just do it. Just do it. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for things to come together. Stop waiting for some miracle to happen. You be the miracle. You make the move. You make the decisions because you're the main character. Hold on 1 second. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. I'm back. Yeah, you gotta be the risk taker. Like, I have, like, from experience, there's been times in my life where I sat around and waited and wasted time because I felt like some amazing thing was just supposed to happen, and the whole time I was the amazing thing that was supposed to happen. It was me who was supposed to be doing something. And it kind of goes with what I said yesterday about how people want to give everything to God and blame God for everything and leave everything to God. Like, that sounds so amazing. Wouldn't that be awesome if we could just give every single problem to God and God could just do everything for us? That's not realistic, honey. It's not. And God will sit there and watch you and have a staring contest with you, and he will win that staring contest to see what you're going to do, because you got to be the one to move. A lot of times, like, some of y'all got to realize nobody's coming to save you. You are your savior. No one's coming to save you. I know that sounds beautiful and romantic, but you got to save yourself. And I feel like God rewards people who, like, move, just step into action and move and make moves. Those are the people who get rewarded in life, who take action, some type of action, and intend to do things a certain way. And just know, if you're moving with positive intentions and if you're going the right way, God is going to guide your steps. Like, do you understand that? That if God puts something on your heart, it's something that he wants you to do. And that if you're doing the right thing, God is going to bless it and guide your steps. And if you're doing the wrong thing, God is going to block it and stop you and reroute you. Do you understand that? That's why you don't wait around. Don't wait. Just do. If you believe in God, God got your back. If you're doing the wrong thing, even if that risk you're taking is the wrong move, God will stop you and he'll block it. He'll put you back on the right path every time. If you're making the right risk and the right move, God is going to make sure he elevates you. Promise. But you gotta make this move, okay? I get so many comments of people like, y'all be saying these positive messages. I've been hearing these positive messages for years and nothing has ever happened. I guarantee you that's why. Because a lot of y'all, not y'all, don't take it, if it doesn't fit, don't wear it. But a lot of people will sit and wait, like the entitlement. They're not even doing anything. They're not taking any action. They're not making any changes. They haven't done the work to heal. They haven't really done much. You got to do something, right? There's something that you have to do. If something is not moving in your life right now and you are frustrated, that feeling of frustration and that feeling of like, God, what is going on? There's probably something you need to do. There's something you may not be seeing or understanding. There's something you may need to change, tweak, or fix. And all it takes is that one change or that one step for you to move. And God blesses you. Like, I'm very much a person who's like solution based. Like, I'm not the type who's gonna complain too much. That's just me. And I'm not saying that you can't complain. I'm not saying you can't have those human emotions, because everybody goes through things, of course. I'm just not the one to complain. Give me 2 seconds to complain and I'm coming up with a solution. That's just me. Okay? That's just me. Everybody's different. Because I understand how transmutation works and how energy works. And when you dwell in your bad as it may seem, it's not fixing anything at the end of the day. So I see things like, okay, if that's how transmutation works, if I'm in a situation that doesn't look favorable to me, I need to switch my mindset, because thoughts are electric and feelings are magnetic. I need to switch my mindset at some point. Even after the tears, even after the anger and the sadness, I have to switch what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling at some point, because that is what transmutation is. You're changing one energy to another energy. I must, because my circumstances are not what I want. I don't want this to be my life. I don't want this to be my circumstances. So what am I going to do? If I can't do nothing, I'm going to use my brain and my mind, because the mind is powerful, right? We can all agree the mind is powerful. And if I know that I ask God for something and I intend to get something, that means that even in my lowest point and in my bad circumstances, I have to hold on to God's promise, right? And what I intend for myself. And that means I have to switch my mindset. If you don't have nothing, like, do you understand that your mind can never be taken away from you? They can take everything from you. Literally. It's been done. But this. I just rather not waste my mind on being negative and dwelling in the negativity. Yeah, we're humans. Thoughts are going to come up. Negativity is going to come up. You're going to get mad. You're going to get angry sometime. That's normal. But the power of awareness that a lot of people don't have is what's going to save your life and change your life. Because I have to be aware of my thoughts and the things that I'm thinking. Because if I know that my thoughts create electricity and my feelings are magnetic and they will pull, whatever I'm feeling will be pulled to me, that means that I have the power to pull positive things to me as well, because that's how energy works. It's been done. I'm not talking because I got lips. I'm talking because I really did it. And I used to be a negative Nancy too. So I get it. But it takes practice, because it's a higher level of thinking. It takes practice to be the type of person who can think outside of their circumstances and above it. That's high level thinking. That's a whole different level. Do you understand most humans cannot do that? That most humans, when they're in a bad situation, they tell themselves, because that's how our human brain works. We tell ourselves, I am my circumstances. I'm upset right now because my circumstances suck. You can't think like a human. You have to think like an enlightened being. An enlightened being knows, or even for religious people, asking it shall be open, seeking you shall find, right? That means it's done. So if I ask for it, it's done, right? Period. That's period. Right? So if that's the case, I can't dwell in my sadness. I can't make excuses. I can't feel sorry for myself all day long, because there's power in the mind, just like there's power in the tongue. But the power in the tongue only comes from the power that you're feeling. You can talk all day. How do you feel about the things that you're talking about? That's what's going to manifest. People love to say that. It's power in the tongue. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you feel. Be careful what you're allowing to fester inside your body. Yeah, that's true. But it's a little bit more to it than that. How do you feel? Do you believe what you're saying? Because if you believe it, oh, it's coming true. It's just a matter of time. I can guarantee that. It's just a matter of time. I've never not manifested anything. I've gotten every single thing that I wanted. Even if I fell short, even if God redirected my path, even if I didn't get it exactly when I wanted it, I still got it. That's because I intended to. Exactly. We are gods with a small g. You gotta know that. You gotta know that. Some people will never get it because it's their brain cannot reach there. You don't have to change my way of thinking, and I'm not trying to change yours. I'm just telling you what I know and what I have experienced in my own life. I know it's safer to put everything on God and blame everything on God, but I don't live in a safe zone. I'm a risk taker. I'm a rebel. I'm really like that. Okay? So that's cute. And I'm not going to take that away from you. That's your life. That's your life. My life is a little bit different. I'm just going to move because I understand if I'm moving the wrong way, God has the power to stop me and reroute me, and I'm aware enough to know that's what He's doing. I'm going to move regardless. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what you need to understand. Move anyway. Move without fear. And if God does stop you, understand, okay, that was for a reason. I don't have a reason to be upset. That person was not for me. That life was not for me. That job was not for me anyway. I understood why I'm understanding why this is happening. This is happening to me. I mean, this is happening for me, not to me. But I'm going to keep moving. And you definitely can't call yourself the main character if you can't even grasp that concept, if you're not even aware. You need that awareness. That awareness is everything. I don't even want to fear that. Actually, I would have to disagree. The chosen ones, like every person who wakes up, it's not your responsibility to wake other people up, but it's intended to happen, as you can see. But you can't force anybody to do it, but it's intended to happen. That's why I always tell people it's not just about you on this journey. It is in the beginning, but you going after your purpose is helping other people chase their purpose. You are waking people up simultaneously. So it's both. It's not just about you, it's about the people who are coming behind you. I feel like this platform, as well as many others, is a good example of that. Especially to the ones who were given the path of teacher. I'm still a student, but I'm also a teacher. And just like my teacher, her waking up woke me up, and it contributed to me waking up. Me teaching contributed to others waking up. But I'm not forcing it. I'm just being authentic. Okay, let's do a Q&A real quick because I don't think this is going to be a long live. I feel like I got my point across. So let's do a Q&A real quick. I just want to kind of go with the flow at this point. I know I said we'll do the spiritual tea, but y'all parents know how it is. I'll give y'all a few more minutes. But the purpose of this live was not just my message, but also, like I said, to plant that seed so you guys are thinking with intention these next couple of months about what you want. Like, we are currently in reap what you sow season. We're in Libra season. It's about balance and basically reaping what you sow, like the last couple months. That's why they say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. This is reap what you sow season. 100%. Like, it's already beginning. Like, you should already be having confirmations in your own life. Things should already be changing. You just got to pay attention. How do I avoid temptation and get closer to God without interference? You can't avoid people interfering or energies interfering. You can't avoid that necessarily. But what you're talking about kind of to me sounds like spiritual warfare. And how I tell people to defeat spiritual warfare, you have to basically raise your vibration. Basically, you got to become stronger, because spiritual warfare is low vibrational things, right? That's low energy. That's negativity. That's low. You got to go high. So to go high, you got to make sure that you're doing the healing work that you need to do. That work is never done. Make sure that you're moving from an authentic place. So being authentically you, completely. That's definitely how you vibrate high. Moving from a place of love. That's how you vibrate high. Don't participate in too many low vibrational things. Make sure that you're meditating. Make sure you're focusing on your spiritual gifts. All the things I tell you on a daily basis are things that keep your vibration high. The higher you go, the harder it is for spiritual warfare to harm you, because it's not on your level. And anybody who wants to reach you has to be on your level to truly reach you. So temptation is going to come, interference is going to come, but have you transformed yourself into the type of person who has enough discipline to fight temptation? Are you vibrating high enough where interference is not, it's below you? You're right above it, right? It's not on your level. So do the healing work and make sure that you're moving from an authentic place if you want to fight that stuff, because it's going to come. The higher you rise, you're still going to get targeted no matter what. That's never going to end, ever. And it's not about living in fear of that. It's about understanding that at some point you reach a place where that stuff doesn't matter because it's not on your level. When you heal, your mind completely changes. Everything about you changes when you heal. You are no longer the person that you used to be. The things that used to bother you, even the spiritual warfare, is not going to bother you anymore because it's not on your level. Thank you, Dara. Sorry if I said your name wrong. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that temptation and interference will come, like this person said, to test you and to also show you how much you've grown. You don't really know how much you have grown truly until you get triggered, until you get tested and put in those situations. And when you see that the new you reacted better than the old you understand that old you has died. It no longer exists. Even if they try to hold your past against you, it doesn't exist. It literally does not. Like, do you understand that? The past only exists in our mind and in photographs, but it doesn't really exist. It's not happening. You are no longer that person anymore, no matter what. Yeah, celibacy is a great thing if you're single. Some of these people are not single, so still do the rest of that. But celibacy is really great if you're single. 100%. No, they won't. They won't recognize the new you. And a lot of times they're going to see this new you before you see that new you. Usually it hits other people before it hits you. If you're not married, you should be single. I mean, it depends on who you ask. Some people feel like that. But I mean, with that logic, how do people end up married then? You got to start somewhere. I mean, I feel you, but you got to start somewhere. What if that is your person that you're not married to? What if they're finna propose to you tomorrow? And you're like, well, I'm going to leave you because social media told me that if I'm not married, I'm single, and you may be holding me back from my person, and you just blocked your blessing. I feel like if that's not your person, you'll know because y'all aren't in alignment and they're not treating you the way you don't like the way they're treating you. Boop. All right, y'all coming here asking me if I got an OnlyFans. I'm gonna start asking y'all if y'all mama got one. How long do you give someone attention that's not giving you attention? Like 2 seconds. do that all the time. I'm not worried about it. Hmm. Yeah. At some point, you gotta, like, not get too caught up on love. If you put out the energy of desperation, you're like, love is gonna run from you. Like, don't be desperate. Like, you can have that in your mind, like, this is something I want, but don't be desperate for it, and just focus on loving yourself and becoming the person that can match this person that you're calling in. But don't worry too much about it. And I'm not saying you can't date. Like, people just get spirituality so misconstrued. I'm not saying you can't date. And I'm not even saying that you have to be celibate. I think celibacy is something that everyone should try, especially women if you're single. But I'm not going to come on here and tell you what you can do with your body and if you can't date. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. Just be aware. A lot of the times the spiritual journey is about the awareness. Are you aware of your energy? Are you aware of your power? Are you aware of your gifts? Be aware of that. Be more intentional with the people that you're, sharing your body and your mind and your energy with, regardless if it's a sexual act. But I'm not religious, so I don't get into the fear and all the extra stuff that y'all be talking about. I just don't relate to that. And I think a lot of that stuff is ridiculous. And yeah, to each his own. But don't put, like, I'm never going to put my beliefs on somebody else or tell somebody what they can and cannot do. Because you can do whatever you want to do. Just be aware of what you're doing and be intentional about what you're doing. And if it's harming you, obviously you should stop. Okay? That's pretty much it. My freaking eye. I haven't been with a woman in a year and 1 month. How will I know who's the one? I feel like you just know. I feel like you just know. If you make the choice to preserve yourself for your divine partner, do that. But don't do it out of fear. Do it because that's what you want to do. Or do it for that intention. Like, I want to save myself from my person. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, some people just feel like spiritual people have to be one way, and that's not true. You can be spiritual, single, and date. You're allowed to do that, honey. Like, you are allowed. You can do what you want to do, literally. Just be careful. Be careful. That's all I'm going to say, is just be careful. If you want to be celibate and all that other stuff, that's great. I tell y'all that all the time. Like, that's a choice that is made, and that's a spiritual choice. That's a beautiful thing, and I've been recommending it since day one. But it's just a lot of y'all get too caught up in stuff and get it misconstrued to the point where now you're judging other people, and you don't have no right to do that, because you're not above anybody just because that you decided to do something. You made that choice. Doesn't make you above anybody. That's good. And that's true. Celibacy does make you look at people in a different light, for sure. And look at yourself, for sure. It's a good thing. Because if you practice semen retention, you can do that in a relationship. You can do that with, you can have a partner and still practice semen retention. Celibacy means that you're not doing it at all. There's a lot of religious men who do that, who are in relationships, and every once in a while they'll practice semen retention for a certain amount of time, and they'll have wives or they have girlfriends. It's just like when you guys say like spiritual people, they shouldn't smoke, they shouldn't drink. And although I agree with that, that doesn't make you less spiritual if you smoke weed or if you have a drink. What spiritual people are not is controlled by alcohol and weed, which is why a lot of people stop drinking alcohol and stop smoking weed, because they understand they're being controlled by it. It's about coming to the point of awareness where you realize this is controlling me. If it does not have any control over you and you're deciding to do this because you want to do it, there's nothing wrong with that. Have a drink. Just don't be an alcoholic. It's pretty much that simple. Hit the blunt. Just don't hit it every day. Take breaks. Take detoxes. Be aware of what it's doing to you. Eat a piece of candy. Just be aware of what it's doing to you. Have some fast food if that's what you want to do. You're not going to go to hell. You didn't ruin your entire spiritual journey because you had some fast food. Just don't do it all the time, and be aware of what you're putting in your body. That's it. That's it. That's what it's about. If you decide to go vegan and alcohol free and drug free your entire life, that's amazing. Good for you. I can think of 10 other things that you also need to be doing along with that, right? It's not just about that. That's nice. That's great. That's awesome. But there's more to do. And the other stuff is way harder. That's way harder. Let me see you heal that inner child. Let me see you do your shadow work every day. That's hard. That's a flex. That's a real big flex. Healing that inner child, healing that shadow side of you, going to therapy, that's a flex. The other stuff, that's cool. That's awesome. Okay, SAG, we didn't ask you that. So you could have kept that to yourself. So what would be a name for a woman equivalent to a man? Semen retention of celibacy is just stopping completely. What's a woman's equivalent to that? I haven't really thought too much about it, and I don't want to just answer off of what I think. I just feel like there's something important about a man releasing his seed versus a woman experiencing like an orgasm. I just feel like there's a difference. I could be wrong, but I don't know if there's anything that is equivalent to that, because a man releasing his seed is releasing his life force. There's life in that. So he's releasing his life force energy, and that's why it's important for him to retain that, because it helps him keep his life force. When a woman releases, we're not giving up our life force, basically. So I don't know the equivalent. I just don't think it's that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've never heard anybody talk about that, so I'm not sure. I have no idea. I think celibacy would just be good for us. Thank you guys for liking the live. I appreciate that a lot. Mm. Yeah. It's just different for women. Yeah. It's just, you gotta be mindful. Like, don't be out here mindlessly just doing stuff. Make sure you have some intention behind what you're doing. Because I feel like we all can relate to a point in time where we were just mindlessly doing things because we were not in control of our bodies or our minds. We were just doing whatever. And there was no thought behind it. It was just, this is just, I'm just doing it. And I don't feel like anything's wrong with it. And then one day you go on your spiritual awakening and you realize, okay, I'm not in control. I'm giving all these things the power, and I need to take my power back from these things. So I only do them with intention, and I'm not just doing it mindlessly. You know what? But a lot of men have no choice but to be okay with that because the world is changing, and a lot more women are deciding to go celibate. A lot of women are. A lot of women are just like, the world is completely changing, like in so many different ways. But in that way, a lot of women are just like raising their standards, understanding their own power, tapping into that goddess energy, going celibate, focusing on themselves, loving on themselves, not centering men in the conversation, like being obsessed and just it's changing. The energy is shifting. So it's like we're taking our power back from masculine energy in a way, which is good. And in doing that, these masculines are going to go heal their mother wounds and stop blaming the feminines for all their problems. And then we can come back together, coexist, and have balance. But the feminine has to wake up first because the feminine births the masculine, literally and figuratively. So this is all a part of it, and I think it's a great thing. And there's some masculines who they've already been on their game. They're already healing. They're already stepping into their purpose and their power. So they're going to go snatch up these feminines who have been doing the same thing while everybody else, they got to figure out their own stuff. Yeah, both have to wake up. I'm just saying, if you know anything about spirituality and even practicality, the divine feminine usually wakes up first, does she not? Does she not? Do feminines not give life to masculines in a spiritual sense and a physical sense? And I feel like a lot of y'all hear that and it hurts your ego. And I don't know why, because it's literally the truth. If you know anything about anything, it's literally the truth. It's not about hurting your ego. It's not about down talking y'all. It's about the fact that, yeah, 9 times out of 10, the feminine, and the feminine can be a man, is going to step into that energy first. That's all that means. It doesn't mean the masculine is not important or valuable or nothing. It just means we're probably going to step into that energy first because feminine sets the tone. Look around the world. That sets the tone. Feminine energy sets the tone. Women are $1 billion industry. We set the tone, period. And then as we wake up, the masculines are going to do the same because it's the cycles of life and will come together and coexist. It's not about putting one person above the other. I never said that. I think it's just a lot of times masculines hear things like that and it triggers y'all's ego for no reason. Because all you hear is that a woman is in the lead and you're like, what? And it's like, what are you dripping for? That's not fun. We be wanting to follow y'all's lead, but we can't. That's not really, we have to move first. We have to step into our energy first and call our energy and power back first because y'all aren't going to do it until we do it. Not saying that it's all on us. It just means we're more so following that love of self. And then y'all follow suit. Y'all tap into your power and rule the world, basically. Like, but it's nothing to be offended by. Like, no one should be offended by that. All right. Any more questions before I hop off the live? Any more questions? I'll give y'all like a few minutes. I know I just said that, but I'm saying it again. I don't know. I'm glad that some of y'all understand that. That's all I like to say. Well, just everybody remember, find that balance. Everyone needs a good balance of masculine and feminine energy to really thrive. Both are equally important. But I don't want you guys to focus too much on finding your divine counterpart in love and all that other stuff because love will come when you stop looking for it. And you definitely don't want to be desperate. Just focus on loving yourself and distract yourself if you need to. Find hobbies, live your life, have fun. Have fun with life. Love on yourself. Care for yourself. Focus on your journey. Everything will come as it's supposed to. But it's about balance. The men gotta tap into their feminine side and the woman got to tap into their masculine side, and we both have balance, and everything will be just fine. But don't get too hung up on love. Don't get too hung up on anything that you're trying to manifest, anything that you're asking God for. Don't get too hung up on it. Don't put out that energy of like desperation or that energy of feeling like it's not going to come. Because when you put out that feeling and that energy of it, you're basically putting out the energy to the universe like, I don't believe in it. I don't have faith in it. You believing in it, staying positive no matter what, even if you got to transmute that negative energy back into positive energy, it's putting out the energy that you trust in it, you believe in it, and it will come when it's supposed to. All right, so I don't see any questions. So I will talk to you guys another time. I love y'all. Meditate tonight, write tonight, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. Bye.